Okay, so today we're going to build a virtual machine on Windows Azure. My ultimate goal is to create a virtual environment to set up a firewall, pfSense, which is a free open source software. And what I want to do is I want to route traffic from the web through pfSense to my virtual machine. Okay, so my virtual machine, I want at least, it to be safe and secure while on the web. And also, since I will be testing the application on the virtual machine, I wanted the virtual machine to at least be getting traffic from a trusted source, right? So that means the pfSense firewall will be filtering traffic coming on to that virtual machine. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this whole thing. But first, we need to create a virtual machine. We need to create a network. We need to do a few things on here. All right, so I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to walk through some documentation. Therefore, that could help you to make a virtual machine, and it also helps me to refresh my memory. Okay, so we're on Microsoft Azure. This is a cloud platform, so let's read some documentation to see what's going on with this, and let's try to get this project going. All right, so quick start: create a Windows virtual machine in the Azure portal. All right, so this applies to the Windows VMs. So Azure virtual machines can be created through the Azure portal. This method provides a browser-based user interface to create virtual machines and their associated resources. This quick start shows you how to use the Azure portal to deploy a virtual machine in Azure that runs on Windows Server 2022. To see your virtual machine in action, you can RDP to the virtual machine and install the IIS web server. All right. So of course, with Azure, you can make a free account, and then they give you that $200 for free credit. All right. So, first thing we want to do is we want to sign into Azure. I'm already in Azure right here. You can kind of see here, and we're going to make a virtual machine. So, I'm going to try to show you as much screen as possible, but it's kind of tough. I have a really big screen. So I'm trying to crop it to the point where it is visible, viewable. All right, cool. So we come into Azure, we create a virtual machine. So let's look for virtual machines in Azure. All right, so I'm going to type in virtual machines. It's already up here. Click on that. And as you can see, I have no virtual machines right now. All right, so we go back to the directions. We open virtual machines, and then in the virtual machines page, select create, and then Azure virtual machine. All right, so let's go to create in Azure. All right, so we want to create, and then we have Azure virtual machines. Okay, so under the instance detail, enter my VM for the virtual machine name, and then choose Windows Server 2022 Data Center Azure Edition. Okay, so let's do that. Instance details. So let's say my VM. All right, and then what else does it say to do? We need the instance. Let's do US East. This is the region where your VM will be hosted. It's like the data center regions. The closer you are to these regions, the lower latency that you have as well. All right, so let's look for Windows. Well, we're gonna do 2025 server because it is 2026, so we don't need 2022. All right, so we have the name, we have the region. Let me see. Do we want redundancy? Using an Azure selected zone is not supported in US East. Okay, let's just say no redundancy required right now. All right. So now under the administrator account, provide a username such as Azure user and password. The password must be at least 12 character long. Okay, so we're going to make a let's see. Let's go back here. Let's see. Let's put this in again. Okay, here we go. All right, so maybe I want this one. General purpose. So these are basically the virtual machine size right here that I'm looking at. Basically, these are the specs of your virtual machine. Now, I don't want anything super expensive, right? So I'm going to use the standard memory, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to spend all my $200 credits on a virtual machine. So I'm going to select this size right here. And basically, if you want other sizes, you can go check those out. But you want a size that just, if you want to use general use, you know, you could pick something that's, you know, very, very easy, that doesn't take up a lot of money. All right, so I'm going to put in my password. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's see if they match. Oh, my passwords don't match. I mean, I have this issue all the time. I got password fatigue. All right, so they match now. Excuse me. All right. So I got the username. I got the password. If we go down, under import rules, allow selected ports for RDP. So RDP is basically you can remote into the computer on your Windows machine, or you can remote in from the browser, right? So you want to have RDP open. Okay, so basically we can leave the remaining defaults after we after we greenlight this RDP. So you should press review plus create, and then after the validation runs, select create at the bottom of the page, and then we should be all set to go. All right, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so let's do that. See what happens. So let's save that. Okay. So it's running the validation right now. I think you can see up here. And then we wait till that validation is done. All right. So I will pause here, and then I will start when we have the validation ready to go and we can create this virtual machine. Well, never mind. I ain't got to pause. So Let's come down here. We have everything, right? So according to the manual, to the documentation, we see validation pass, subscription resource group, virtual machine name, region, all that stuff is pretty good. And then after deployment, we can go to resource. All right, so let's check over here. Let's see. So I selected a region. Okay, I have a resource group that was defaultly made. Okay, so all this looks good. I'm going to press create to create a virtual machine. Let's see what happens. All right, so you can't see it over here, but it is. Okay, it went away, but I'll show you here. So here it says initializing deployment. So it is getting set to do what it needs to do to launch that virtual machine. All right. So just wanted to show that. Okay. So we have our Windows server. It is, well, it's still in progress, but I mean, at least it's created. All right. So let me go to the resource. All right. So after deployment is complete, select go to resource. Okay. Well, first of all, we can go to virtual machines now, and you can see it right here. This is what I just created. All right. We're going to refresh this real quick to see if the deployment has been made. Okay, so it's still working. So I think we can go here. We can go to my VM, and then let's say I know it's somewhere. Okay, boot diagnostics. We can click on this, and it's supposed to give you a screenshot, right? But I haven't RDP'd into the VM yet because it hasn't been created yet. Okay, so we're still waiting on that. Yep, it is still being created. So let's go back to the documentation. Now I'm wondering if this is all we need, or do we need to create something else to attach to the virtual machine? Create a remote desktop connection to your virtual machine. These directions tell you how to connect to your VM from a Windows computer. On a Mac, you need an RDP client, such as a remote desktop client. I believe I have that though. Let me see on this Mac. Let me see. Or I might have deleted it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Oh, you know what? I think I deleted it. I think I just deleted it the other day. So let's see. Let's go to the App Store and get remote desktop client. Yeah, I deleted it. Things you gotta do, but I do like Mac now. I was anti-Mac for so long, but I like it because it's just the ease of it. You know, it's just so smooth. You know, it's so smooth to use. All right, so I know this is not a machine anymore. This was like a test machine right here. But essentially, what I downloaded was a RDP application for Mac, because Mac doesn't have a native RDP function like Windows, right? RDP has been around for years, ever since probably Windows has been created, right? So if you have a Mac, you can just download Windows remote application RDP, and then you're able to log on to Windows servers from your Mac, right? So you're basically going through another means to get to the Windows machine. All right. So let's look at, let's see. Okay, so I think everything has been deployed, right? So yes, everything has been deployed. We get a deployment succeeded on our end, and we're all good to go. All right, so let me RDP into the server. All right. So what does it say in the documentation? So how do we connect to our virtual machine? Well, we create a remote desktop connection to the virtual machine. These directions tell you how to connect to your VM from a Windows computer. On a Mac, you need an RDP client, such as Remote Desktop Client from the Mac App Store. All right, so that's what we just downloaded. All right, so on the overview page of your virtual machine, select Connect and RDP. All right, so we're going to overview now, then we're going to go to connect with RDP. All right, so connect should be, where is it? Let's see. Overview and then click. Okay, it's right in my face, probably, right? Okay, hold on. Virtual machines. Click here. All right, here we go. And then connect, and then press connect, and then we have native RDP. All right, so this is the native RDP. This is the most popular way of accessing Windows virtual machines, right? So we have the local and the public IP, which I will gray out in editing. But you can see my public IP. That's fine. All right, so let's download this RDP file, and then we should be able to access it via the RDP client. All right, so let's save this. Boom. And you can see here on the side, no, you can't, not no more. What? Yeah. My VM RDP. This is basically the file that I use to access my virtual machine. All right. Okay. So let's get this thing going. All right. So we'll open up the RDP client, and then we're going to add, let's see, let's just say, yeah, let's just say like a work account or whatever. We'll just call it a work account. Wait, do I need to do all this? Let's see, add a PC. Let's see. Okay. Add a connection to a physical VM-based name or IP address. So let's try it this way. So let's see. If we add the folder here, let's see what happens. Let's configure it though. No, I don't think this is that. No, because it needs to know what file we. So let's see what's going on. So I'm trying to figure this out in real time. All right. So bear with me. But this is what you actually have to do on the job. Figure stuff out in real time. All right. So let's see. We want that file. So maybe if we get the RDP client. Let's see. Okay, so this is what I have already. Okay, so how do we connect this file? Okay, so let's see. Over the overview page for a virtual machine, select Connect and RDP. To connect with RDP tab, keep the default options to connect by IP address over port 339 and click Download RDP file. Open the RDP file and click Connect when prompted. Okay, so maybe I just have to click on the file. So let's go to the downloads and see. No, it's on my desktop. Okay, here we go. It's that easy. I'm trying to do all this other stuff, all this shake and bake, but you just gotta click on the file. So let's see. Let's continue. Let me see. Maybe I didn't put the password in right. There you go. Told you, man. I have password. I don't even know what the word is, but I mess up my passwords all the time. Password fatigue. I'm gonna coin that word. Password fatigue. You just put in a password and you're just like, yo, I really don't know what my password. Like, I really don't get it sometimes. It's weird. Like, sometimes you know that you're putting in your password correctly and it still doesn't go through. And you're like, nah. You just like, nah, I can't believe it. Like, this is supposed to be my password. I don't know. All right, so do I want to send diagnostics to Microsoft? Maybe, I don't know. But we are on our Windows server. Cool. So let me see what's going on with all this hoopla. I can't really see nothing. There we go. All right, so here goes our Windows server. This is what that is, and there you go. So this is how you create a virtual machine on Windows Server, and yes, I need to create another virtual machine to put the pfSense firewall on there. All right, so let me create another virtual machine in the next video, and we will install pfSense. All right, so this is part 1. Thank you for hanging in there. Now you know how to create a virtual machine.